I guess because our junior rangers practically, when we have these junior rangers, they become our eyes, you know. They used to be vandals outside from outsiders. They do graffiti, you know, scribble on our towers, and certain things along our trails get vandalized. And there's also one stream over there that we don't allow people to swim. But one day there was a group of kids from outside, and it happened that that day that was after school, our junior rangers were there, and they ran to our office and said like, auntie, there are kids swimming in the river. And we were like, okay, where are they right now? I think they're still there. And we went to them, and we told them that you're not allowed to swim here for safety reasons, you know. And so they became our eyes. When they see something not being done very well, they come and tell us, so and so is doing this, you know. And I think for us it's very helpful because although we have 30 staff and maybe 1/3 of them are field staff, RDC is very big. We cannot possibly go around everywhere. So we have our junior rangers to also help us as junior rangers, you know, going into the forest and helping us with looking after our forest. Also, I think that's good for biodiversity as well, because we also have this program on planting or propagating plants.
I see.
For the junior rangers. Yes. And on one weekend, for instance, 20 junior rangers can propagate from cuttings lah kan, of plants, about 400 seedlings. Wow. Of course, after mortality and all that, maybe about half of them survive. And we present this to the schools. We give it to the schools. And some are planted even in our garden, in our plant discovery garden. So I think this is also very good for us. So they know about how to propagate. What do you use when you are propagating plants? How do you propagate them from cuttings, from seedlings, from seeds? I mean, and also how do you take care of these plants? So we get them to go there and check on the plants, you know. I think this is good to start them young.
It is. I can actually see environmental stewardship being modeled and also nurtured in these Sepilok Junior Rangers, and not to mention environmental citizenship, which is very important when we talk about conservation of an environment or an ecosystem, where humans actually, I mean, we need humans to protect the environment if they are not the one protecting it, right? So yes, I do see environmental stewards in these young Sepilok Junior Rangers, and this is what our environment needs. And again, kudos to Sepilok Junior Ranger. Keep it up. Hopefully when this lifts up, you can expand and enroll more junior rangers, and then we will have more environmental stewards.
Yes.
All right, Ben, we have come to the end of the show. But we do have 2 more questions. All right, so maybe the first one is maybe you can list down top 3 learnings from your experience in 2021. So what are they? And then the second one is, if you are given a 3-minute to do an elevator pitch on RDC, how would it sound like?
At RDC, at the center itself, what we learn, again, I would say that we thought all this while, we thought that That's not we thought. We never thought that this thing, pandemic, would happen. You know, we used to tell people when people ask us, "Are you open today?" and we said, "Yes, we are open every day until the end of the world." Oops.
Oops.
And then the pandemic happened, and for the first time since we opened, we had to close. We were actually very sad, you know, because we opened 7 days a week. We never closed. We work 8 to 5 and more, but we never closed the center for any holiday or whatever. Even during election, we are open, but we had to close in March, you know, and that was quite sad for us.
Yes, it is.
And suddenly we were lost, like, what's going to happen? All the unknowns came into our heads, and are we ever going to open back, and how is it going to be? We will be using masks all the time, and yes, everyone, I never thought in a million years that it will be a norm to wear face masks in Malaysia. I mean, I've seen it in other countries, especially in Japan. When people have flu or a cold or anything, they will always wear a mask. And last time I used to just look at them and how can they stand using that mask? And now it's happening everywhere in the world. So that's totally a different experience altogether, you know. And so we had to think of something that can help us sustain, right? And that is we cannot just rely on face-to-face interaction in terms of environmental education anymore. We need to learn something new, like the video, like the TikTok,
Yes.
and any other things that through Zoom and any platform that we can reach our audience, our targeted audience. And this is the first thing that we realized, that we have to do this. Even if things get back to half of what it used to be, we will still have to do both, you know, face-to-face interaction as well as internet and social media and so on. So that's what we learned first. And then the other thing is that we have to pay more attention to activities and features for the locals from now, because as it is now, the borders, international borders, are still closed. So we have to look at specifically. Again, I'm not saying that we never look into this last time, or we don't care about local visitors. Of course we do, because in RDC, 60% of the visitors are locals and 40% are foreigners, foreign tourists. So of course locals are important to us as well. But we always feel that whatever we do, if we cater or prepare things for the international audience, definitely it would suit the local audience. You know what I mean? If the facilities are good enough for foreigners, it will be good enough for locals. But then we learned that there are certain things like photo booth, you know, simple things like photo booth. Locals really love to take selfies, you know. We've seen it in the social media, and they have all the all these swings and this gazebo and these frames where locals would go there and take pictures with families and friends. And I think we learned that these are some of the things that we now know foreigners might not really pay attention to, but locals love it. So these are some of the things that we would like to have at RDC, and we're going to have this year. So we'll choose some spots at RDC where people can take pictures.
Yay,
and says
RDC. Supposed to go to take.
Yeah. And then the other thing was, you know, when we are impacted in terms of salaries for the contract staff, because like I said, we always thought that our income, our monthly income will always be enough. You know, having what we have now as it is now, we will always have more or less enough income to sustain our contract staff. But when the pandemic happened, we were struck and we said like, oh my God, what are we going to do? You know, we are not ready to, we don't want to lay off anyone. We want to keep everyone because we need all of them to sustain or to do all the work that there is for NHS centers. And so these are the things that made us be more creative in attracting people back to RDC, in coming up with new ideas on how to interact with them through our social media. So yeah, basically this is the topmost three things that we have learned as an environmental education center in RDC during this pandemic.
Thank you, Ben. I think you've mentioned never say never. And we have to be adaptable,
Yeah.
because we can't predict what can happen in the future. Yes, and another one is I would say think globally, act locally. Almost that meaning. We have to pay more attention to our own, let's say, own rakyat.
Yes.
I believe we have how to say potential, and you know we need the rainforest as well. And the last one, another BM saying, sediakan payung sebelum hujan. I think from very young, we are taught that.
We learned it in school, primary school.
But we never thought that it would be that big of an impact like the global pandemic, right? So thank you, Ben, for the 3 top learnings. So if you are given 3 minutes, okay, to do
That's quite long.
that long. 3 minutes.
Not really. Okay.
Not really lah. To pitch on RDC, right? How would it sound like? You have 3 minutes. Say.
Oh boy. Okay.
I time you.
Okay.
Sekejap.
Okay.
Timer dulu. Okay, dah. Nak cari timer cannot find.
You're really gonna time me, eh?
Oh, it's an 3 minutes. Okay, no more, no less, yeah, Ben.
Okay.
You are ready when you are.
All right. Okay. Okay then. I would say the best thing about RDC is that when you go to RDC, you will be surrounded by 300 plus beating bird hearts. You know, you go there and you see especially now, the hornbills. And if you go in further, the Bornean bristlehead, crested serpent eagle, the kingfisher just on the zip line. And once you enter RDC, it's fresh air. You're away from even like Sandakan, you can already smell, you know, any town would have that certain smell. But when you go to RDC, it's so fresh that you just want to open up your lungs for everything, you know, and absorb all that oxygen coming in. And then you would go to the canopy walkway, our 370 meters long canopy walkway, and still going longer at the moment. You go up there and you walk among the trees, big trees, just next to you. You can actually touch the leaves of these trees. And again, you see birds flying over you, the hornbills, the rhinoceros hornbills flying over you. and the awesome view of the pristine rainforest of Kabila Sepilok right in front of you, all around you when you're on the canopy walkway. And after doing that, you go down to the trails, and again, you see this canopy. You look above you, and there's this canopy just shadowing you from the sun. And you smell the smell of the trees around you, the fresh smell of trees around you. And then I will take you now to the plant discovery garden, where endless learning of plants, like I said, the aeroids, the plants for your kitchen. What are the plants for your kitchen? Medicinal plants, aeroids, cacti and succulent, and so many more things that you can see, you can smell, you can touch, you can feel, and whatever things that you want to do, you can selfie there with the Nepenthes in your hand, you know, immerse in that technology, in that learning experience. And finally, you go on an adventure on our zip line, and that will make your day. And last of all, you take a selfie of all this beautiful experience, you know, capture all these moments and share it to your friends on your social media. That I would say about our two.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much, Ben, for your elevator pitch. You know, when you speak, my 3 minutes is like walking as though as I am in RDC, experiencing it virtually, or in my mind.
Virtually.
Thank you so much, Ben, for the elevator pitch.
Thank you for the opportunity. Okay.
All right, we have come to the end of our chit chat. Here from Knotties, we would like to thank Bernadette Joeman, or formerly known as Ben to us, for spending her valuable time with us, sharing about her experience as RDC manager, experience of RDC during the global pandemic, and also, of course, sharing with us about her Sepilok Junior Rangers. Anything you'd like to say to our Knotties, Ben?
Firstly, I like the name Knotties.
From Knotties.
Very catchy as well, Johleen.
Thank
So I'd like to thank you, Johleen, and also, of course, Knotties, for inviting me to this first talk or interview or discussion for this year.
We call it chit chat.
Chit chat. Oh yes, chit chat. For this year, I'm actually very happy that you decided to call me to do this, and I had a good time chit chatting with you.
So do I.
And yeah, and I look forward to some of the chit chat in the future with other people as well.
Yay!
So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to introduce RDC to those who do not know about RDC, and to update some of those who have been to RDC like yourself, and other friends and visitors. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate that. So now say bye-bye to our Knotties. Bye.
Bye.
See you next
See you.
time.